Hey, sweet friends, Miss Erin here. I'm just sitting on my back porch enjoying this beautiful spring day. It's beautiful blue skies and the sun is shining and the birds are chirping. It's just a great day. I hope you've gotten to have some fun outside time today too and enjoy the new spring weather. Well, I wanted to come and visit and tell you a special story today, a true story, the Easter story. Now, I could certainly use a book and show you lots of pretty pictures, but I have a better plan. Today, I'm going to use Easter eggs, and there is something special inside each egg. So come join me and let's hear all about it. Well, a long, long time ago, when Jesus was alive, people walked wherever they had to go. They didn't have cars, they didn't have bicycles, so they would walk to all the places they needed to be. Kings would ride on horses or on donkeys. Well, remember, Jesus is king. So one day, he sent two of his friends to go get something special for him to ride on. Let's see what's inside this first egg. It's a donkey. Jesus rode into the town of Jerusalem on a donkey, and everyone was so excited. They lined the streets and waved their palm branches in the air. They put coats down on the ground so that Jesus had something to ride over, and they loved him. They were so happy. Most people were happy, but not everyone. There were some men that did not like Jesus, and they pretended to. But it was not very nice. Even one of Jesus' friends pretended to like him, and he really didn't. His name was Judas Iscariot. And he went to some mean men and said, "If you will give me 30 silver coins, I will show you where he is." Let's see what's in this egg. Do you hear it? It's silver coins, friends. You see them? Well, Jesus had 12 friends that he loved very, very much, the 12 disciples. One night, he invited them to come and have dinner with him. So he invited all these friends, and they came. And that night, he washed their feet, he prepared them for the dinner, and he brought out a cup, and he poured the drink in it, and he said, "Friends, drink this and remember me. It's a symbol of my blood." And then he broke bread and he said, "Friends, eat this and remember me as a symbol of my body." He was making a covenant with his friends. They didn't really understand at first. And they just knew that he was saying what he needed to say and that they trusted him and they believed him in all that he said. Let's see what's in this one. Friends, it's a cup. Well, after the dinner, Jesus said, "Friends, come with me and let's go to the garden." They went to the Garden of Gethsemane. He wanted to pray. And at this time, Jesus got really sad because he knew something bad was going to happen. He knew that he was going to have to die. So he went to the garden with his friends and he said, "Stay here," as he walked a little further into the garden. He wanted to go have time with his Father in prayer. What's in this egg? Praying hands. Can you put your hands together to pray? Well, Jesus was very sad that night, and he asked the Father, he said, "I know that I need to do this. I know that I must die, but if you are able to take this away from me, please do." Jesus knew that he needed to pray. He was afraid at this time, but he knew that he had to do what God had asked of him. Well, while he was in the garden, those mean men showed up that Judas Iscariot had led to him. And Judas came up to Jesus and he kissed Jesus on the cheek, showing the mean men where he was. Let me show you this. Here's the green egg. What do you think's in this? Oh, the mean men brought a whip and they hurt Jesus. They hit Jesus and they took him away, and they knew that they had him. They were going to take him and arrest him. Well, Jesus' friends were scared. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know why these mean men were here. Well, the mean men recognized all of his friends and said, "We know that you're Jesus' friend." And they told them no. They said, "No, we don't know him." Well, Jesus had said to him, before the rooster crows 3 times, you will deny me, meaning you will say you don't know me. And right then they heard the rooster crow. And Peter, his friend, was so sad. He went away and he cried. Let's see what's in this green egg. Are you ready? It's the rooster. What does the rooster say? Cock-a-doodle-doo. Yes. Well, after that happened, Jesus was taken and he was arrested. And it was so very sad. And the mean men were not nice to him at all. And they made fun of him. And they said, you think you're a king? You don't have a crown. So they made something for Jesus. Let's see what's in this egg. It's a crown. But it's not like what most kings would wear, friends. Most kings have crowns of jewels or of silver and gold, and they're beautiful. This was a crown of thorns. And they placed this on Jesus' head and said, you are here you are a king. The crown would hurt Jesus and gave him boo-boos all on his head. And they were so very mean to him. Well, after that, they hurt him. They whipped him and they hurt him. And then they made him carry a big wooden cross all the way up a really big hill. Jesus knew that they were taking him up there to die. Well, when they got him to the top and he carried that cross, here's the next egg. They took nails and they nailed his hands and his feet to the cross. Well, on both sides of Jesus, there were 2 crosses with 2 men that were nailed to those crosses. They were both robbers. They had both committed a crime. They had done something wrong. But Jesus was perfect. He had never done anything wrong. Jesus had no sin. Well, the robbers weren't very nice. One robber looked to him and said, if you're really the Son of God, you can get down off that cross. Get down and show them who you are. The other robber looked at him and said, please remember me. I believe in you. And remember me when you get to the kingdom of heaven. And Jesus said he would. And after that, dear friends, Jesus died. It was so very sad. Well, the mean men, soldiers down below the cross, they wanted to make sure he was really dead. So they took a spear and they poked it in his side to make sure that he was really gone. And it was a very sad, sad day. And the earth shook and the lights went out. The sun did not shine and everything went dark. And at that point, people recognized he was the Son of God. He was the King of Kings. And everyone was very scared at that point. Well, after a little while, a friend of Jesus, Joseph, came and asked if he could take his body off of the cross and take care of it. And that's just what he did. Let's see what's inside this egg. It's a linen cloth. Joseph took Jesus down from the cross and he covered up all his boo-boos. He cleaned his body and he covered him and wrapped him in a cloth and he placed him in the tomb. Well, to make sure nothing happened to Jesus' body, they took a big rock and placed it in front of the opening of the tomb so that nothing could happen to him. Let's see, it's at this one. It's a rock. Well, dear friends, all of Jesus' friends, they were so sad. They didn't know what to do. Their king was gone, and they were so sad. They were alone, and they were afraid, and they didn't know if they would see him again, what would happen. And they tried to remember all the things that he had told them. Well, 3 days passed, and they just mourned, and they were so very sad. On the 3rd day, some of his friends went back to his tomb. There was an angel sitting on the rock, and it scared them. And the angel said, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Jesus is risen. He is not here. Just as he said he would. He is risen to heaven, and he sits with God the Father right now. Well, the rock was away from the tomb, and they looked inside, and guess what? Here's the last one. It was empty. Jesus' body was not there. He was not there. He did just as he had said. He had risen to heaven. And friends, he is in heaven with God the Father today. Now, I want you to understand, Jesus had to die on the cross to take away all of the sin of all the world. Your sin and my sin, when we make mistakes, when we don't do the things that we're supposed to do, Jesus took all of that away, all for you and me, because he loves us that much. And the most wonderful part of this story is one day we will get to see him again, and we will get to be with him forever and ever and ever. That is his great promise to us. And that's the best part of this story, dear friends, that we will all be together with Jesus in heaven one day. I am so glad you guys came to listen today and let me share this special story with you. This is a story that I hope you will hold near and dear to your heart and be able to share with others as well. Thanks so much, friends, and have a blessed Easter.